Algebra 2 worksheet 4.6. I'm going to look at numbers 10 and 12 in this video. These are solving inequalities from concept 3. And number 10, initially you look at it and it seems kind of simple because there's really not much going on. There's just the absolute value of 1 minus x less than 5. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start, and there's nothing, usually like on number 11, you'd have to move this minus 1 over, divide by 4 to simplify it a bit. Now here, this is already simplified for us. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the 1 minus x less than 5. I'm not going to change anything at all. And I'm going to try to solve that for x. So I'm going to subtract this positive 1. I get negative x is less than 5. This is where we might make mistakes, or less than 4. Wow, I didn't even subtract. Less than 4. Here, I'm going to divide by negative 1, which means I have to flip this symbol to a greater than negative 4. That's where most people are going to make that mistake. And that's why this is a little bit tricky with the minus in there. So I know I'm going to have x is greater than negative 4. And then remember, with the absolute value, you're setting up two actual problems. The second one is 1 minus x is, instead of less than 5, greater than negative 5. So now, just like before, I'm going to subtract from both sides. I get negative x greater than negative 6. This time divide by negative 1. And again, like last time, I flip the symbol one more time. It becomes less than positive 6. So now on my number line, and I'm running out of room here, negative 4 is, let's call this negative 4. Positive 6 is there. Open circles, because there's no or equal to. I'm greater than negative 4, so I start shading in this direction. I'm less than 6, so I start shading in this direction, and they meet in the middle. Now, also, I'm going to look at number 12. And again, the mistakes here happen because of knowing when to flip the symbols. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start by subtracting 10 from both sides, because again, I want to get this absolute value by itself. Negative 5, absolute value of 2x plus 3, greater than or equal to, those 10's cancel. 5 minus 10 is negative 5. And then I'm going to divide by this negative 5 in front here. That cancels. This becomes less than positive 1. So I'm down to 2x plus 3. The absolute value of 2x plus 3 is less than or equal to positive 1. Now I'm going to set up my two problems. The first one, again, nothing changes. 2x minus plus 3 is less than or equal to 1. 2x plus 3 is greater than or equal to negative 1. Subtract 3. So I get 2x is less than or equal to negative 2. Divide, I get x is less than or equal to negative 1. Now before we had to flip it when we divided, but on this one, because that's a positive 2 we're dividing by, we don't have to flip. 2x greater than or equal to negative 4. Divide, x is greater than or equal to negative 2. So now I've got negative 1 and negative 2 that have to be graphed. Negative 1, negative 2. These are or equals, so solid circles. I'm less than or equal to the negative 1, to the left of negative 1, greater than or equal to negative 2, to the right of that. So once again, my shading is in between those two.